I asked for some questions, so I can start doing a little bit of that. I'm gonna start looking at the questions that you guys have asked before I started this audio. All right, so there's a guy saying, "Dude, why are you stealing the thunder of Gulagunyet?" So Gulagunyet is Vladimir Sechin's project. I already addressed it, but I can reiterate. Vladimir and I are in close collaboration, and we're doing this together as a team. I'm not stealing anything from Vladimir, and he's extremely happy that these events unfolded in such a way to where he's gotten so much attention from the West that was so important. Are you worried about your safety? I'm not, because I do have full confidence in the United States intelligence community. I'm absolutely convinced that if there is any kind of threat on me, because I am in the United States, that the U.S. intelligence community will be able to take the right steps to protect me. I mean, there are lots of questions that I'm not going to get into. Let's see. Okay, so here's a question. I guess there may be no possibility for you to communicate back to Wind of Change, but does he have insight to the outreach his letters have gotten? I hope he feels how appreciated his contribution is. Yes. I mean, just as Vladimir was absolutely stunned at the exposure that the English translations garnered of his letter, so was the Wind of Change. The Wind of Change is aware that these letters are making an impact. That's why he started cranking out more of them after the first one in very rapid succession, because these are the things that he thought that is important for the Western world to understand about Russia. We cannot face and defeat something that we don't understand. And that is the purpose of these letters. Question: does Western intelligence have access to these letters? I mean, there's no question. I mean, this is public. These letters are public in Russian. I mean, another thing I can also mention as an aside, I've been contacted by quite a few former intelligence officers of different countries in the West, and none of them had any sliver of a doubt after the initial several letters that this stuff is exactly what it is. And I've also been offered help by such people, which is just fantastic. After the first letter, you might think, well, maybe this is Ukrainian government disinformation, which would be just genius. That was definitely a possibility, right? Or Polish, or somebody that's on our side from the West. But that still makes no sense if you really start analyzing the content. And also the upcoming information that will be published looks like it. I can't tell you exactly when we'll be able to publish it just yet. That will lay that question to rest once and for all. It is going to be just, I think, shocking, and I wasn't exaggerating when I mentioned that I do think that when the CIA director actually sees it, he might drop his coffee in amazement. It's not crazy strategic things that need to be kept secret for somebody's safety or something like that. From now, there's a pretty significant segment within the FSB trying to ring all these alarm bells for the West to listen up and actually do something to stop Putin, because we are gonna have a a mass extermination of people coming up here in Ukraine. That was their line as people that work inside the Russian intelligence, inside the FSB. That's when they decided we're gonna have to risk more in terms of like personal safety and those kind of things, but we got to convince the West to take this stuff seriously. And it's their response to the active, relatively new disinformation campaign that was started by the FSB, by a separate office inside the FSB, to discredit these letters in the West. So they're responding to showing, hey, here's the proof. These letters are not fake. Let's see, more questions. Yeah, so right, again, it's there again, I just want to reiterate, right? So these are letters that are going back and forth. This is not a one-way communication. It's just that Vladimir is not publishing his communication to the Wind of Change, because I mean there's no reason to. I have no idea what happened to Defense Minister Shoigu. Apparently he's not been publicly seen for some time now. Have not heard anything about that.